there's a lot to be gained in so many different dimensions if you can figure out sort of the business stuff around the coding skills that you have.
For us, we train students, right? We train coders, we train developers. And so one key thing is this: why do you think coders and developers should embark on indie projects?
The cool thing about being a programmer is that you can create value at your fingertips, right? You can pick up your keyboard and type a bunch of characters, and suddenly there's like this code that exists that will run all day, all night, forever, and like hopefully provide value to someone somewhere. It's really cool. And with the internet, like it can provide value to theoretically billions of people, right? Yeah. The sad thing is that a lot of us work jobs where essentially we work for a company who's figured out how to provide value to lots of people. And you can be an engineer at Google. You might write code that makes Google $10 million, right? But at the end of the day, like they're still going to pay you a salary, and they're going to take most of that profit for themselves and put that in their coffers or pay that to their executive teams. That's not to say that being a software engineer is a bad rap. Like software engineers are very generously paid. It's a great lifestyle. But I think that there's a lot to be gained in so many different dimensions if you can figure out sort of the business stuff around the coding skills that you have. So, we talked a little bit about money, right? Like how much value are you actually capturing from what you're building? As an employee, you're really not capturing any value. You're sort of just being paid for your time. As a founder, you can capture as much value as you want. There's also like lifestyle choices, right? Freedom. Like how much creative license do you have to decide like what it is that you're working on? If you work for a bigger company, probably very little. If you start your own company, you can build literally whatever you want. I was talking to Natalie Nagel. She has a company called Wildbit. She said something during our podcast that I thought was great, which is like, there's no rules here. Like she and her husband, Chris, run their company however they want. They built a bunch of different products that they think are cool. They have a 4-day work week for their employees because they just think that's cool. Like there's no rules saying you have to run your company any particular way. And I think that's that freedom to sort of build the environment that you want to work in the projects that you want to work, the schedule that you want to work, from the location that you want to work, with whatever people that make you feel good. Like to have that freedom, you really need to be the one in control. And I think that's, it's something you need to be a founder to do. Why do I think a lot of people should follow this path? Because I think there's stories out there that basically discourage people from following this path and make them think that it's harder than it really is. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not like you're going to definitely succeed. But I meet a lot of developers who think, oh, I could never do this. All I know how to do is code, right? I don't have business skills. And I think everyone kind of has business skills. Like we just call them different things. If you have ever been paid to do something, then like technically you're a business and the person who paid you is your customer. If you have gotten a job, right, that is your employer, also known as your customer, paying you for your services, right? Your interview was you basically doing sales, right? You had to tell them why your services were better than your competitor's services, why they should pay you instead of these other, right? Putting out a resume and trying to get people interested in your services in the beginning, like that's marketing, right? You're trying to find these customers, like these companies to work at. Obviously, if the services you provide, whether you're a software engineer or something else, like that's your product, right? That's the thing that you need to get good at and actually hone so people actually want it. Salary you get paid, like that's your pricing. Like you're always a business, even if you're an employee, like you're already doing these things. And so I think people sort of underestimate themselves. They think that, oh, I can only code, right? I don't know all these other skills. And it's like, you kind of do, and you're going to have to learn for sure. But like, if you've learned to code, like that's harder than learning a lot of the other soft skills. The other stuff is trial and error and you get better at it over time.